You're listening to Valley FM 95.9. It is a little bit late, but we've made it. I am on the phone to Will. He is from the Rogue Scholars. Welcome to the show, Will.
Thanks very much. Thanks for persevering with our antiquated technology.
That's all right. We're here now. So let's talk about your band. You're the vocalist, five-piece band. They're a folk punk roots band. How would you describe the Rogue Scholars?
Yeah, that's the best kind of, general, broad brush description of it. In as much as we've got a couple of instruments normally associated with folk music, really. Five-string banjo and piano accordion, which is me on accordion there, and Tom on banjo. And we have these kind of pretty general folk influences in there, I suppose. Well, we do, but I certainly wouldn't call it, like you hear the name Paddy Punk thrown around. Like, I could go on about that sort of stuff all night. But, yeah, I'd say it's pretty much a punk rock band with rootsy folk influences, yeah.
And sure. Whose idea was it to bring all the instruments in? Or did you just decide you needed to have all these instruments?
We were fairly open to it, like there's this formula that goes on with a lot of stuff, as you know, in any kind of thing, this derivative thing where people sit down and decide how how it should be. So we were quite open to anything, and Matty put the band together effectively. I met Matt up here on the coast. Mm-hmm. He lives over the border, and he knew Govey from ska and punk bands, and, these guys have been in all sorts of stuff. So they're solid, experienced, pub players, and coming out of various backgrounds, but in their context it was ska that they played together. But he found Tom, who was over the border too, who was just looking to play with people, five-string banjo, and I've played with various people who play mandolins, and my brother's a gun banjo player and all this, so I was right up for that. So yeah, I mean, in a sense, it was whatever came along. We didn't really have a clear formula in mind, no.
And you were previously a busker before the Rogue Scholars. Is that true?
Oh, I have been a busker, not for donkeys, but I used to busk when I lived in Marrickville all the time. I got by on that. I'd wake up with 20 cents and go out to Marrickville Road and busk it up and get by every day that way. And I used to busk in Melbourne too. In Little Burke Street there with various people, and yeah, but I was never sold on the whole busking trip. I'm not like I never saw myself as a sort of street performer or anything like that. It's just that accordion's very visual and it's very loud. It comes from it's a 19th century thing, so it's pre-amplification. So it happens to be a good busking instrument, but it saved me many times. Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got a little bit of experience, playing in front of people, getting a crowd around you, all that kind of stuff.
Well, I've been in lots of bands, like we all have. Not so much to that sort of busking trip. Between us all, we've been in a lot of bands. Sean is from England, and he was a studio musician over there, very much in demand. His CV's pretty full on, actually, to put it mildly. But yeah, in Sydney, I was in bands down there. I'd started a band called the Rumjacks when I was in Sydney. Before that, I'd played in bands in Melbourne, and I'd played as a sort of side man to people in Melbourne. I was briefly in a band called Mutiny there, who are a great band, and Callum, who is our engineer and I suppose producer, we're going to record with him tomorrow. He's in Mutiny. They're sort of on and off these days. And the others, like I say, had been in ska bands up here and all the rest of it. And yeah, so we've all, except for Tom, even Tom has done stuff. See, I say except for Tom because he's the youngest member. But even he's done stuff, but yeah, we're lifers basically, yeah. Yeah,
so you've all got that experience and all, feed off each other from all your experiences and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, this is it, everyone's sort of been in the field well and truly, but having said that, to be honest, like Sean's the Grand Master of ceremonies, really. We look to Sean with regards to lots of stuff. We all throw in for arranging and everything like that, but Sean's coming out of it, solid life in the studio. as very, very much an in-demand player. So yeah, but we all arrange stuff and all the rest of it, and then we get it out there. We started getting it out there before Christmas, and we're just banging away, and we all work together very much so with arranging. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you're the band's from the Gold Coast. What's the music scene like there? Is it difficult to find places to play or anything like that?
It is. It is difficult. There's debates raging online at the moment, actually, like, Facebook being what it is. No bad thing, everyone's having their two bobs worth. I'm just going to say now that I'm the new boy, more or less, to the area. I've only been here 18 months, but when I got here, I found myself playing in kind of cabaret-style Irish stuff.
Oh, okay.
I play, like Irish bars. I play tin whistle as well, and I know all that sort of stuff. So I got roped in here and there and just playing to the tourists and the, party animals or whoever it is that makes up the Surfers Paradise audience. It's an arbitrary, random audience. That's just the way it works. I suppose there's a couple of people who might rock along if someone's on, but that corny Irish sing-along, whiskey in the jar kind of scene, like anyone who thinks they're an artist in that is having themselves on, as far as I've seen, and I've seen a lot of it. But you're talking about original music, yeah?
Yeah, because I'm only familiar with sort of like the Brisbane sort of Ipswich area, not so much the local Gold Coast scene.
Right, yeah, no, it's a really good question, because it's contentious, and there seems to be, there's these sort of debates going on about cover. I don't think the cover bands or the cabaret, sort of jukeboxy stuff in any way detracts from any potential for an original scene. Because that's its own thing, and the place is a tourist mecca, as everyone knows.
Yeah.
So the challenge is to see what can be done on an original level, and there's all sorts of. Obviously we're coming out of our kind of thing, and we hit up Brisbane, which is has always been such a, good live scene, such a punk city. I always used to love coming up and playing in Brisbane when I came up from Sydney and Melbourne, and the others, Govey and Matty are steeped in that. So that's always there. But on the Gold Coast, there's this sort of beachy kind of, reggae-ish world music, sort of Miami Marquetta scene and all this kind of stuff. It's kind of Byron-y, I suppose, and you hear various names come up with in that, like real pros, who are original types who are doing it under their own terms, and that's part of their orbit. But that's not us. We're sort of sweatbox at the punk stuff. Having said that, it's not like we want to just sort of only play that or exclusively or anything like that. So it's going to be a challenge playing locally. Not that it's any huge deal one way or another, because we're going to be playing in Brisbane in a couple of days, and we'll go to Sydney and Melbourne and all the rest of it. But it would be good to play here on the coast, as often as possible, as well as Byron and Brisbane and Sydney and Melbourne, because we live here, and we sort of bounce off it, and it's a good spot, but it's not Fitzroy, and I don't think anyone would pretend for a minute it was. I think I've got a few ideas, just having, from what I've seen about how it could improve, and ultimately that's a lot of it. I think is out of musicians' control. I think what will happen is these kind of hipster bars that we're seeing in Brisbane will start springing up here, and when they do, and if they want bands, they won't be bloody, same old cover bands. I imagine they'll want, original bands or acoustic performers or whatever. But I just think it's a potential market, actually. We meet people all the time who are up for it, who don't necessarily want to train it up to Brisbane and get on it in Brisbane and crawl back 36 hours later.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be good. And there used to be Shed 5 here on the Gold Coast, of course, which was, I only played there once, and I was living in Melbourne at the time. That was magic. Like, we came up and we were all blown away. Well, people were saying that they wish they had a place like that in Melbourne.
Oh, wow.
So if they could do that before, then they can do it again. And, we haven't played the Shark Bar yet. We haven't played the Gold Coast yet, actually, to be honest.
Oh, wow.
Like, I've played Surfers Paradise up and down, but like not Rogue Scholars haven't played it yet, but we will.
And you mentioned a gig that you've got this weekend, Punkfest.
Yeah.
You're pretty excited for that one there?
Well, yeah, because it's the Go set, and I go back with Keno from the Go Set, so I'm looking forward to catching up with him. Like, they just plough away. They're in Europe all the time, and he's a great bloke, and they're great songs. So it'll be nice to see something where you actually really like the headline act, you know. And that's at the New Globe Theatre in Brisbane.
Yeah.
On Saturday night, Punkfest. And we're going to, what else? New Globe Theatre. We're playing another thing in a couple of months called Palooza in Brisbane, which is also at the New Globe Theatre. So it'll be good to tread the boards there and get a feel for it.
Yeah, I'm pretty keen on some of the lineup for Palooza. Is this your first time doing the festival?
Yeah, for sure. Like, well, Rogue Scholars really only was, you know, came into being sort of, when was that? Gobby season, sorry, I'm just going, around October, I think. Yeah. Oh, no, a bit before that, maybe about September. So, yeah, it's definitely our first for that. I'd heard about Lollapalooza through the Molotovs, who are a band from Brisbane and the coast. And, apparently it's quite the thing to play. So we got on board for the Brisbane show there, so it'll be fun.
So it's just the Brisbane show that you're playing, not the other shows that they've taken nationally, I think they have.
Oh, that's right. They'll be in Melbourne and everything too. Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll get in with Andy. He'll like Rogue Scholars enough to get us down to Melbourne with him sometime for sure. Because, I mean, we're going anyway, so we might as well
tag along.
Down there. Yeah. You know, like, it'd be great to. I'm looking forward to getting to Melbourne, of course. Like, because I love Melbourne, but hopefully. So next time round, hopefully we'll go down with the bandwagon or wherever he goes. Wherever he goes, we'll be up for it, I'm sure.
Yeah, and you're looking to create more of an audience, a fan base with a bigger audience at Lollapalooza?
Well, that seems to be the idea, and as much as it seems to be fairly eclectic, you know, and you'll get. I thought it was a metal thing. I think it may have had a metal emphasis, or hard rock, you know.
Yeah,
kind of
I think
thing.
it started like that. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's got, you know, it's kind of real rock and roll, you know, like. Kind of thing, so which will be good. Like, yeah, because we're pretty much up for playing anywhere to anyone. I know that a lot of people say that, but they don't actually mean it. You know, from what I've seen since forever, you know, the people sort of stick in various niches or whatever. I mean, Sydney is like notoriously divided like that. I don't care what half of them say, but the fact of the matter is they'll stay in Planet Newtown, and it's a million miles from, you know, various other spheres within Sydney. Melbourne's different again. So we're not, and the other thing is, you know, at the end of the day, we're on the coast. You know, it's not punk rock city or anything, you know, and we're not interested in sort of swanning around, you know, pretending that it is. You know what I mean? Like, we some of the songs are kind of based on experiences in Surfers Paradise. We're going to record a couple tomorrow. So, yeah, we're up for playing to anyone, for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so something like Lollapalooza, like, yeah, like hopefully it is quite an eclectic crowd. So, and it's meant to be a really top venue too, so.
Yeah.
And Brisbane's always the best, you know. That's the thing, like, Brisbane is so close, but Brisbane's, well, you know, I just find it, parts of it especially, like, very much a colourful, gritty city, and it's got these sort of subcultures and you know, it's also within that. Matty always says, and Matty's almost the social historian of Brisbane, and he says it's very inclusive. So that the sort of metal characters will be in there with the more old school punk characters with the this, that, the other. It's one in all in parties. I've always just found that they just basically drink heaps and go hard. You know, like
that's what I've noticed pretty much.
Yeah, they really do. They just go hard. Like, you know, come up and play Punkfest in the Jubilee or something. And like they just go mad. Like, they're bouncing off the walls. And something like you could play somewhere in Melbourne or somewhere, and Melbourne audience tends to listen. They're so saturated in music that they'll listen to stuff. But yeah, Brisbane's real. There's just something about Brisbane that's just lives it, I think. You know, it's got this kind of, and the valleys, you know, with its whole sort of hobo vibe and sort of do-it-yourself thing. Like, I don't think that's me being romantic. I've always noticed that about it. So yeah, to be up there playing, you know, rock crowd or whatever in the valley will be cool.
Yeah, I hope you have a fantastic time. And you mentioned you're going to start recording stuff soon, and so everything's just coming together all at once.
Well, yeah, we recorded with Callum who's in Mutiny and various things. He's been up in Brisbane for a fair bit, and we did 3 songs with him in, I don't know, around Christmas. They're on YouTube. We've got 3 things on YouTube, and we did that because you need to have something just to submit, to put out there. We're not really into the whole please like me on YouTube. People get online and say we've had 10,000 hits, and that's pretty sad. But you've got to have something, you've got to
put out there. Yeah, exactly.
You have to have it. So like we got 3 tunes on that. We'll be recording as of tomorrow. And that means we'll have an EP pretty soon. We'll just have it ready to go, and then we'll just take it from there. We'll just get out there with our EP. So that'll be out. We haven't got any date for it, but we won't muck around. We'll just do it.
Yep, get it out there, get it done.
Yep. For sure.
Well, I'll definitely be looking forward to that EP and what the Rogue Scholars can come up with.
Yeah, thanks heaps, and thanks for looking us up. That's got much appreciated.
That's all right. I hope you have a fantastic festival, playing everything. Thank you so much for coming onto the show, Will. You've been a fantastic guest.
Oh, Caitlin, thanks so much. Anytime, and all the best with everything.
Yeah, I'll definitely keep in touch and see if we can have you on the show another time.
Will do. Cheers. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. Have a fantastic night.
You too. Talk to you again.
Bye.
See ya.